Greetings, beings. Reverend Jacob Martinez here, Crystal Haiku Guy from artoflove.me and your Father of Tribes, back with your mid-monthly October readings for the Tarot by Tribe series. This is an M for mature audiences only channel. The language is strong and sometimes the messages are as well. So if you don't like it polarizing and you don't like the wordy dirds, click an X. I am so happy that it is Libra season and going into Scorpio. This is one of my favorite times of year, and I must wish you all happy birthday. Thank you for being here. I certainly appreciate it. I basically break down these videos into 4. There's one for each of the tribal elements. There will be 3 chapters, one for each of the signs assigned to that element. Please watch your sun, moon, and rising. If you don't like channeled messages and some of the things that happen while I'm shuffling and preparing the space for each of the signs, please jump ahead. Everything is linked below underneath the description box in this video. I will probably misgender you. It's not on purpose. I'm not going to be the guy that tells you how to interpret yourself or the people around you. Genders and situations can flip-flop depending on who you are, what's going on in your life, and what your constitution really is made up of. So use your own best discernment. These are for entertainment purposes. If I start to hammer on one of your stories and you like it, drop me a comment, shoot me an email, get into my schedule. I'd love to jump into it a little further for you and just see where it goes if you want a personal. I am taking those. All the information is linked below. Very simple to get into my schedule. And I would also just like to thank everybody that has been supporting me here. It has been amazing to hear from you about how the messages have been landing, and I'm just absolutely flabbergasted to be here doing this work with you. Thanks for being my kind mirror and for caring about my channel. A lot of y'all have sent money and requests for messages or prayers or readings, and it's just been really cool. Y'all have been keeping me busy and it feels really great, so thanks for that. Shine on. I use 5 cards while I'm doing these. We do an archetypal overview. It's kind of like your challenge energy for the month using Carolyn Mace's archetype cards. Taking a look at the physical material realm, I use the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, and for the mental sector, we look with the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. Personal / sometimes romantic sector, use Durian Virtues Romance Angels Oracle deck, and I like to seal them all up with a little bit of practical advice and a prayer from Archangel Michael. And also do want to mention that I am now doing daily card pulls for both people that are on my Instagram and also on my Facebook. So if you haven't liked me there yet, everything's linked below. Go ahead and just like me there and you'll see those every day. Really enjoy doing those. So thanks for being here, and I hope you love your readings. Catch you on the inside. What's up, Fire Tribes? Happy mid-month of October to you. Y'all are freaking adorable. I was clearing up in here after doing the air tribes, and I kept seeing somebody in front of the mirror. And it was a girl, or what I would identify as a woman. And I just saw her, like, singing, like, doing this stuff. And I was trying to place what the song was for a while, and this is, like, what she was, like, screaming at the top of her lungs. And it was really funny because it's, like, the radio cut out while she was singing. It was like totally off key, and it was just cute. And this might resonate for somebody here. It was really cute. So I just kept seeing somebody like screaming in the mirror, like, I get weak, doing this stuff. And when I was clearing the cards, the decks from the last reading, the deception card flew out from my romance cards, and like the transformation card was like kind of cockeyed, like sticking out of the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. And I was just hearing that it's like there's some truths that are like coming out And, you know, maybe some of them have already come out, actually. I'm hearing that a lot of them actually started in, like, September for some people, but that there are actually a lot that are pending that need to come out. And it's, like, just stuff about people that are coming to terms with how their behavior has been because of their, like, whatever situation they were in, not being able to be kind of, like, honest about how they were feeling. And that song is really cool. It's called I Get Weak, and it's by Belinda Carlisle. And so I was hearing that. I was hearing something about, like, how some of it's just, like, relationship stuff with some couples, and how other stuff is just, like, some shady treatment that was going on, and that it's just, like, you know, people weren't in their truth. And then the other thing they were showing me, I kept seeing mediator. And so I was hearing that for some people, it's actually, like, right now, like, coming to terms with some differences in a relationship, and actually, like, getting a strong nod from the guides that, you know, now is a good time, if you want to work on those relationships, to seek out, you know, good third party. And in some cases, I'm hearing it might be a friend or a family member that kind of helps to, like, bridge something. But in other cases, it's like, if it's like somebody's, like, marriage, you know, I'm just being told, like, an actual, like, mediator is the word they're telling me. So like a mediator or like a counselor, you know. And so I was seeing some people getting into counseling about that, and I was seeing somebody, like, apologizing for, this has been coming up a little while, so, you know, it might be the same person, but I keep hearing something about, like, a sex addiction, or, like, some kind of addiction. It might not just be sex addiction, you know, it was just, like, an addiction, and somebody just, like, admitting, you know, I've been, like, really weak, and I came unglued for whatever situation. And so that song might apply to some of you all in a romantic context, but in others, just like, you know, just like it's something that happens when, you know, you're not finding yourself in, like, that balance of your strength. And so you might want to check that one out. I'm going to go ahead and put this down, start shuffling the decks. I put them all down with the backs up, and I won't pick up to say anything unless I have, you know, like, a pop out. And the guide said we're going to go Leo, Aries, and Sag. Okay, so those kind of shot out on me a little weird. There were three of them. I don't see any of them because their backs up. It's the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. And it's one I use for the mental realm, and that 12 sacrifice, aka the Hanged Man. So, I'm hearing for some people it's like just like tired of feeling like blocked about just some shit, and I'm hearing it was a lie is what it was, and that it's like now it's like about choosing what's worth sacrificing, and in some cases it's like a difficult thing. It's like pride or like a relationship, like just like completely like omitting somebody from your life. And I'm hearing in some cases it's like what I'm hearing some of these guides say is just make sure that your pride isn't getting in the way of your heart. And keep shuffling. I'm just going to put that down. I'll finish shuffling those. There's two decks to shuffle. I'm on the second to last. I was just seeing somebody really nervous. I think it's the same person that was singing that song, that I Get Weak song. And I was hearing for somebody that it's like, I'm just going to he-she, you know, the way I'm hearing somebody's guides say it to me. But this can flip-flop. Any of these stories can like interchange or be applicable to other people. It might not apply to you too. So please disregard it if that's the case. I was just, they were showing me like, it's the Six of Wands card. It's like victory card, and they were showing it like upside down, right side up, upside down, right side up, and they're showing me this woman that's like singing in front of the mirror, and they said that she's just like really nervous, and she's been trying to psych herself out. And I was just hearing though, like, whatever she's nervous about, if it's about like whoever the person is that she's like having that emoting for, like with that song, because the song, if you don't know the song, it's basically she's saying like to somebody a confession about, you know, hey, you know, you're amazing, and it's like I come completely fucking unglued around you. I can't talk, I can't think, I just like, I trip all over myself, and you know, now you need to know. And so, oh, bless your heart. Your guides are just saying that he's like really sweet, and that he's totally gonna get it, and that it's like actually he's gonna be a little flattered probably, but the whole thing is about you standing in your truth, because they're saying that he was actually like really hurt by somebody, that somebody like really like just hurt him, and that he's been holding back too, and it's for the same reason, you know, you guys are just like really digging each other, and it's really cute. They keep showing me like, I don't know why I'm seeing like 13 for some reason, and I'm seeing like two like kids like holding like pinkies, like, you know, like in the hall at school or something. And anyway, they were just saying that it's like, you know, that's like where you're taking it back with each other. It's like really innocent, and that it's okay to have that feeling. And you're going to know if it's safe or not. I mean, look, this can't be for everybody. Some of y'all are having some crazy romance stuff too. I'm seeing some train wrecks going on too. Like, relationship-wise with some people where they're, going through the mediation and everything. Like I was saying in the beginning, or, trying to like get something back on track. But this other situation, totally different. It's somebody that's just like new to their feelings is what it is. And I'm hearing that it's like taking them back to a time where it was okay to have like idealistic love, about somebody that like really cares, and that it's like, you know, not all just like motivated on like what can I get from you, which is, how a lot of people come at others these days. So, yeah, they're just saying if that's you singing in front of the mirror and you're like totally like not sure what to say, that he's actually like pretty easygoing and that he's probably feeling the same way. So maybe y'all are both singing the same song. All right, I'm going to finish shuffling. Yeah, this just shot out. Last deck, Eternal Love. And it's funny, like right before it shot out, I heard the word trust. And so you're going to know if that's for you or not. But I'm hearing some of y'all, you're just going to know where that applies. Eternal love. I'm just going to stop here and do the prayer for all of us. We can all use a prayer on eternal love, can't we? Here we go. All right, fire tribes. Eternal love. Dear Archangel Michael, help me perceive all of the love that surrounds me so that I can feel safe receiving, expressing, and giving love. And I'll say trust, too. Amen. Because that's the word that I heard before that shot out of the deck. You'll know if it's for you. I was starting to hear something, and I can't tell what it is right now. It sounds familiar, but I'm not placing it. If it comes back, I'll probably bust out in a song. We're going to go ahead and get started with Leo, and then we'll do Aries, and we'll wrap it all up on Sag. So, what's up, Leo? Can you believe it's the middle of the month of October? I hardly cannot. So, happy mid-month to you. I'm going to go ahead and flip your cards. just because it jumped right off, I'm going to say you might be dealing with an Aquarius or have some Aquarius in your chart. Y'all got the same archetype for the second half of the month here, Leo. Warrior. Dig that card. Light attributes, strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice and the conquering of the ego. Shadow attributes, trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. They said that, like, there are a lot of changes that want to happen right now for some of y'all, and that it's like literally deciding whether or not to turn your back on certain situations or to fight for it. And I'm hearing a lot of it has to do with, you know, some addictive personalities that are going on here, and just like major blockages that have been going on, and that a lot of y'all are just kind of like showing up the second part of the month contemplating like all the what ifs and like which ones you want to keep. Some of this is like emotionally inventorying yourself, you know. Is kind of how I like to put it. It's like, you know, checking the inventory of emotions that are present at any given time. And you notice here there's like different stuff that's like happening here. So there's like this dark figure, this person that's staring up at the clouds at all these cups, and this is Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. Anytime you're going to get cups like that, you know, you're dealing with something of an emotional nature. Since that's showing up in your physical material realm, I'm hearing that many of y'all, this is you here, and that it's like you're actually that person up in the clouds, and you're like, all right, what's worth defending? And what am I going to fucking chuck? Because I heard some of y'all just want to chuck some of these cups over. I'm hearing that a lot of it was just like bullshit, 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 pie in the sky. Oh, you know, all these like things that either you were waiting on or like imagining, and it's like they didn't come to fruit. And like some of y'all are just like, fuck this, you know, I'm turning my back on what's no longer serving me. And that it's just like a real strong time in your world of you taking a posture on that. This is what I'm hearing. And I just hear, just be careful, especially if you're wielding sharp metal objects, you know, where you're directing that. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, I'm hearing cutter. Like, I was hearing this before too about somebody dealing with somebody that's a cutter, like dealing with a cutting situation and not knowing what to do. But I also hear that somebody might be turning their back on the bullshit, and that's what this is here. So let me just break these down a little bit more. All right. Warrior energy that's showing up here for the second part of the month. This is an archetype. Basically, this is sort of like the context. It's like a challenge energy because it's like how things feel, and it's how you might be tempted to exert yourself or see other people trying to kind of like interact with you in that way. And this 7 here, I'm hearing for some of y'all is like a point of awareness that came up in July. I was getting something with July with some of the air tribes too. Actually, I think it was the Aquarius. So you might be dealing with somebody that's got aqua. You know, maybe you have some aqua in your own constitution. It wouldn't be surprising, but I was hearing something about like something in July happening, and right now the way they're telling me is that, you know, it was sort of like a point of no return for somebody, and that's why this is showing up on the mind, because I use this John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck for the mental realm, and this particular card here, this 4 Firm Foundations, is actually your 4 of Pentacles if you were cross-referencing this deck here, a little more traditional styled deck. And you know, a lot of times people will say it's like your penny pincher card, or somebody that's got like some poverty consciousness, because you see this one person on the image that's like clutching their pentacle and like just holding onto this coin, and just like not really like moving, you know, not wanting to budge, because fours can be very like stationary, stagnant, stable, but sometimes just like, you know, holding on a little tight. And I'm hearing that, you know, this was actually like a switch that got flipped for some people though, because of whatever happened in July for some of you. And in some cases there's, you know, probably nothing to do with July. It might not have anything to do with July at all, you know, or maybe it has to do with like, you know, just somebody that's got some cups. You know, you might have a cuppy person in your life that you're dealing with, or cuppy people, you know, there could be several, or just things that are kind of pulling at the heartstrings, that are showing up in your world in different ways and making you take a consideration of them, because that's kind of what this is to me, if that's you, even if you don't have cups in your chart. But if it's to deal with a cups person, you know, you're going to be talking about somebody that's got like a strong sway of water element in their constitution. So somebody that's maybe got like sun, moon, rising, and Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, if not yourself. I keep hearing Scorpio for somebody though. Like they're saying, you know, a lot of Scorpio thing, and that's probably... I don't know if I'm hearing that right. I'm going to keep that one to myself. Anyway, on the mind, John Holland Psychic Tarot, Oracle deck, firm foundations. So for some people, this is really just like deciding how to regroup after something basically came unwound that had to do with an addiction. And I'm hearing for some people, you know, it was like a separation between parties, and I'm literally seeing somebody that was like, you know, in a relationship, like just turning their back on it and being like, you know what, no, not anymore. And that, you know, this might be you just taking that assessment after turning your back on something and just deciding, you know, what do I even want now? You know, do I even care about this shit? And for some people, it's just like, they're like, you know, just getting down to brass tacks. And I heard confession. They're telling me that mediator word again too, and I'm hearing for some people it's about standing up and fighting for the marriage, you know, or, you know, the union, whatever it is, and that it's really, you know, this is somebody thinking about all the good times that happened in 7 years, and feeling in some cases like, you know, maybe they got like somebody turned their back on them, and just feeling, you know, like some need in that situation. Maybe not so, you know, dramatic as it, you know, this is addictions here. It doesn't have to be that dramatic, but I'm hearing this is actually very good energy though for many people, because it's like the awareness has been triggered, and it's like, you know, something has happened where it's like now it's just coming very clear about, you know, what you even want to do. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's because somebody had really pulled the wool over your eyes in a situation and just kind of caught you blindsided. And I'm seeing somebody literally getting like stabbed in the back, like repeatedly stabbed in the back. Not like physically with like a knife, but they're showing me like this image where it was like, I'm hearing false friend. I'm hearing base level motivation, false friend, somebody that had an addictive personality, taking what they could get from you, and it's just like, now you're just kind of like, you know, at that point. But Archangel Michael saying, you know, focus on divine and perfect health, and I'm being really focused on this yellow. There was a lot of yellow stuff coming up with the air tribes too, and about self-esteem, and I'm hearing especially too, if it was you and you've been dealing with this, or this has been you with the codependency and just like working your way through something that's maybe been plaguing you, especially if it's been going on for like 7 years or a long time, you know. And I'm just hearing that, you know, if you feel like somebody pulled the wool over your eyes, that can't happen anymore, because now you're enlightened. You learned something, and that's why you're the warrior, if that's you. And so they're just saying, like, you got to really check in with your self-love on this. And that's actually what's going to give you, like, that feeling of firm foundation. And especially if you're, like, contemplating whether or not you want to turn your back on things. I'm hearing in some cases, don't be overreactive, because the warrior can do that. You know, the warrior can get a little angsty, and you know what it's like, Leo. You know, especially, you got all that fire. You know, when you got your fire under your ass, it's like, you know, you can just like go off. And so, you know, they're just saying that just remember what you learned and check in with that self-love, okay? That's like third chakra stuff, you know, healthy sense of ego, color yellow. And I'm going to jump into the Carolyn Mace archetype deck book, see what that warrior says for you. This one's a long one. It's got 2 pages. So I just read it for Aquarius, so I'm going to read it for you now. And you might want to check out the air tribes. Alright, warrior, soldier, crime fighter, Amazon, mercenary, gunslinger, samurai. Represents physical strength and the ability to protect and fight for your rights. Linked to invincibility, loyalty in the passage from boyhood to manhood. Can also be female, as in the legendary Amazon tribe of warrior women, and has emerged once again through women who liberate and protect others who need representation. And it can also be people that do not identify either way. Mercenary and soldier of fortune are variations on the hired killer who sells his power with complete disregard for the cause. Gunslinger and samurai appear to your fantasies of independence and self-defense, yet they also carry the historic weight of predatory evil. In their favorable aspect, they all warn you when you're in danger of aligning your might with an unjust or purely self-interested cause. And the spiritual warrior, pioneered by Dan Millman, Chogyam Trungpa, and others, directs you to use the classic warrior virtues of heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice for conquering the ego and gaining control of the inner realm. Shadow warrior distorts or abandons ethical principles in the name of victory at any cost. Look for a lifetime commitment to courageous battle wherever and whenever and wherever necessary. And so, yeah, I'm hearing that that's like part of why some of y'all turn your back. It's like you're realizing that some of the people that were in your life were only in it for themselves. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's like you had everything wrapped up in this. It's like all your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and, you know, and it's like, you know, you've had to deal with some bullshit and literally had to turn your back. I'm seeing somebody like writing somebody completely out of their life, and it's like legal. I was seeing something last month with some of the air tribes, like waiting on a signature. I was hearing pending signature. And I'm seeing right now, in some cases, it's you guys, and you're about to like scribble some shit on a piece of paper and just like X some people out of your life. And I'm hearing in some cases that that is exactly because you are focusing on your high mission, your divine and perfect health, and knowing when it's, you know, got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Who is that? That's Kenny Rogers, right? And I'm hearing that's what this is. Some of y'all just like knowing when to fold 'em, knowing when to walk away, knowing when to run. I'm going to go ahead and jump into that book here. It's John Holland's Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. 4 Firm Foundations, a.k.a. 4 Pentacles. That's what's on your mind. So, yeah, I'm just hearing picking up the pieces in some cases for some of y'all. It's like, seriously, just like, you know, whatever that situation was, it's like now just being very clear on, you know, what's not working, what's going to work from going forward, and just like putting back what you want to keep. And this is what the card says in the book. This card denotes that you have already or are currently working toward establishing a solid foundation in the material world. Using good judgment and heeding lessons from the past concerning financial matters will assist you in laying a firm groundwork. By doing so, security will have a better chance of building in the future. The material power that's now around you can either be an advantage or a disadvantage, depending on how you respond to it. Don't let your current position determine who you are. Remember to give back and prime the pump of prosperity, for true spiritual and material wealth is as much about giving as it is receiving. Seek proper investment advice and realize that you don't have to hold on to your possessions too tightly. Just be flexible and allow things to continue to flow. And so I think some of y'all are. I don't think that it's not that you're not flowing. I mean, a lot of times this is very stationary, but again, this is on your mind too. So maybe that's just what you're thinking. I feel like, you're doing a good job trying to decide on which ones you want to keep in most cases. And I'm getting a really strong nod on that from, I would say, the majority of y'all's guides. So I'm going to give you a thumbs up on that because I think that that's good. And you know what? It's okay to be a little bit grounded about things. Sometimes just make sure you're not getting in your own way, especially if you're just feeling challenged by whatever it is that you might have turned your back on in the past. Because I'm hearing for some of y'all, this is just you being like, you're feeling in some cases a little bit insecure, and you don't want to turn like the warrior inside of you against yourself is what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing some of y'all can get in that mindset because that's the old patterning. Codependent thinking can do that. And please don't take offense by that word. A lot of times, people don't like seeing that. And I don't really think that we've always been given like kind ways to assess what words like this actually mean because of how destructive just turn on the news, right, and see what's happening in the world. It's like it's not a kind reflection a lot of times that we're getting. And so you hear a word like codependency or addict or whatever, and it can really stir up some negative connotations. And they're just saying like, be careful how you let your mind linger on that stuff too, because if it's conjuring up a lot of thoughts in you and that's you just being like blocked, in your thought process, that's not so great. And that's going to make you feel a little freaking crazy if you've got all these things on your mind, and in your world that are showing up that are pulling at your emotional, heartstrings and the things that, make you daydream about life and, and you don't feel like you can do anything. Because I'm hearing in a lot of cases, because that's you, you've actually kind of like earned your way out of that. And now is a time for you to also trust on yourself. And so, if you need a good focal point, just remember third chakra, sound and color meditations are great. Splash some yellow on yourself. Focus on divine and perfect health. I'm going to go ahead and open up the book on the romance angels here on codependency. See what that one says for you. Alright, Leo. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. It doesn't have to be romantic, too. Some of y'all don't want romance. Got it. Alright. This card answers your question in perhaps a surprising way because addictions are the culprit behind the issues you're attempting to resolve. This could be your own craving for a substance or unhealthful behavior, or it could be that your partner's addictions are impacting your love life. This card is also an indicator of childhood experiences in an addictive family. Addictions numb the heart to pain, but they also diminish the capacity to love. Since love is the basis of your romantic partnership, addictions become a barrier to moving forward toward true emotional intimacy. This is especially true if you're twisting yourself in knots to please a person whose dependency has lessened his or her capacity for happiness. That no-win situation will negatively affect your self-esteem and your own happiness if you continue. Fortunately, lots of support is available worldwide in the form of 12-step meetings and other addiction support fellowship models. Whether it is you or your romantic partner who has the addiction, you can find free groups near you through the internet searches or by contacting a local community health center. Wow, I just saw something that made me really sad, and it's just a very abusive situation. I'm seeing somebody like literally taking it out on, I'm going to say his partner. I'm seeing a man and it's like a belt and stuff, and he's like going after a woman. A very, very sweet woman. And this is actually like, I was just seeing her like bleeding. Listen, sweetheart, if that's you, if you're watching this and somebody is physically putting their mark on you in some kind of way, there's nothing that you're doing that makes you deserve that. And I don't want to piss you off, but I'm fucking pissed off if what I just saw is what's happening to you. And I'm just hearing you need some help. I'm hearing mediator, and you might need somebody that can, help you in a delicate way if it's like something serious like that. And I hope that you're just not turning your back on yourself. And, they're telling me to just hold this up right now and tell you I'm praying for you. If you need to talk to somebody, please talk to somebody. You can reach out to me for a prayer. I'm happy to pray for you. And I'm hearing don't turn your back on yourself. I'm hearing that there's refuge somewhere too. And I'm hearing for somebody, it's like, there's a rock for you. Or there's somebody that's like in your life that's like showing up like that too. That's like refuge. And maybe it has something to do with a mountain. But I'm hearing that they're saying he will never turn his back on you. I don't know if that's a family member or if that's just like somebody in your life that cares about you. But I'm just hearing that, that person is a warrior like you. And they get you. And they're not going to judge you for whatever that, has been here. Okay? And you're going to know if it's for you. I just recommend, please, get some help. If you need some help, there's like so many people in this world that can help right now, and there's just so many different ways to get that help. And so, I'm praying for you, and I just hope you get it. All right, that was kind of heavy. I'm going to go ahead and just seal this one up on the advice and the prayer from Archangel Michael, because whatever's going on in your life right now, Leo, they're just saying it's a great time to be doing some healing. And I know some of y'all have just been busting your ass on like what you're doing. You've just been working on your solid foundations, and all your hopes and dreams are invested in this thing. You want to fight for it. And so, they're just saying make sure you're also taking care of yourself. So I'm going to leave you on that one here. Focus on divine and perfect health. Dear God and Archangel Michael, thank you for continuously reminding me to focus upon perfect health and for guiding my actions so that they support my well-being. Amen. Alright, Leo, that's what I got for you. I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Go ahead and flip your cards over, clear up a little bit here, and light a little something, and then we're going to jump into Aries. What's shaking, Aries? How you doing? Happy middle of the month to you. We're halfway through October. I can't believe it. Flipping your cards. All right. Interesting. More of this 5 energy. There was some stuff coming up with 5s a lot. There was a lot of 5 action happening with some of the air tribes. You might want to look at that if you're dealing with, I don't know, maybe you have some air in your chart. You're dealing with some airy people. But you're getting some 5s here too. And let me see, where should I just jump? Well, I'm just going to start at the end. Favorable outcome from Archangel Michael. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Because I'm hearing might be a little bit challenging, you know, right now, what some of y'all are dealing with. Victim card came up as the archetype for the second half of the month here, Aries. It says light attributes prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Shadow attributes, playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, inability to maintain personal boundaries. And they're saying for some of y'all, it's just like learning what to really even stand for right now, because I'm actually seeing somebody falling. And not to be too dramatic, I'm hearing in some cases it's in love. Because that's showing up, and you know, we've got the Knight of Cups like spilling their emotions everywhere here, and I'm hearing for some people it's like literally somebody just like just kind of falling in love. It's not like, you know, I know that says conflict and defeat, and we'll break these down. I'll take my time with them a little bit because that can't be for everybody. But one way or the other, you know, victim can be difficult to deal with, whether it's you just like protecting yourself or feeling like a victim. But I'm hearing that whatever it is, it's actually going to be okay. So just hang on. And they're saying you're going to have to kind of be patient. And I'm hearing mostly with yourself, because this is like defeatist thinking that some people are going to be dealing with. Conflict and defeat. This 5 here in the John Holland Psychic Tarot Aqueduct is like the 5 of Swords. If you're referencing like your standard like Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. And so it's like kind of like mentally like doing that to yourself in some cases, at least in this deck. And that's really, you know, why this victim thing is something you want to be cognizant of what's going on with this. And I'm hearing for some people it's just because you have not, you know, wanted to, you know, maybe deal with some love stuff after what happened the last time. And so in some cases this is just, it's been like a block. You know, and that some people are just literally feeling like, holy fuck, what just happened here? I don't want to be falling down those stairs. Because that's what it felt like last time with XYZ person, and, you know, that it's mostly like, you know, processing what used to be and like, don't want that to happen again, oh my god, you know, and just, like, they're saying settle down. I'm just seeing some of these guides again, like, just, like, it's gonna be okay. I was getting that a lot with the air tribes, too, and I kept seeing, like, people, like, there have been, like, a lot of, like, surprise hookups, is what I've been hearing, like, since September. Like, I'm getting a lot of stuff with September for people. And I'm just hearing it's going to be okay. And if you're having anxious stuff, like anxiety and stuff, focus on some breathing exercises. You know, maybe just like surf around on YouTube and see what's on there. There's like really good breathing exercises you can do to help you just like bring that energy down a little bit. Because I'm hearing in some cases, if this is you just like kind of being reserved about like expressing your feelings, because sometimes that's what that means when this Knight is upside down. Other times it could just be like this goofy motherfucker coming in all crazy and just like blah, you know, spilling their cups everywhere. And I'm hearing in some cases it might not actually be a bad thing, because it's like the person is actually, I mean, you know, that it's like the real deal. You're probably gonna know if that's the case. I'm hearing that this victim thing here, it might just be like, you know, you just remembering and kind of like analyzing things. Let's just make sure you don't get into your own like way. I'm going to see what the Carolyn Mace Archetype Cards book says on that victim free here, Aries. Okay, here we go. Victim. When properly recognized, the victim alerts you when you're in danger of letting yourself be victimized, either through passivity or rash, inappropriate actions. Oh, no Aries has ever done that before, right? Second bullet point says, also helps you to see your own tendency to victimize others for personal gain. And the last one says, shadow victim shows you that you might like to play that role because of the positive feedback you get in the form of sympathy or pity. Excuse me. I've been fighting a cough. Everyone has this archetype. The goal is always to learn how to recognize these inappropriate attitudes in ourselves or others and to act accordingly. I'm just hearing too, for some of y'all, you just need to stop shaming yourself. That, like, you know, that's kind of what this is that's on your mind. It's like you putting yourself through, like, hell. And I keep getting all that yellow again. See all that yellow right there? It's like the person's, like, turning their back on their healthy sense of, like, self-esteem. And, okay, they might have been pushed too. It's true. Maybe they had, like, a real shit relationship. I'm hearing Gemini, actually. I heard that somebody had a fucked up Gemini that just, like, left them and was, like, cheating on them. And I'm sorry, I'm not, like, taking it out on all Geminis. Somebody's guide said fucked up Gemini. You're going to know if it's yours or not. I'm not, like, talking shit on all Geminis. I have a lot of, you know, Gemini people that I love in my life. I'm just hearing some of y'all had a fucked up Gemini. And that's why, you know, you're carrying this. And that it's been, like, I'm hearing, like, 5 years of you just, like, feeling like that, you know, like your back was turned to your inner light. It's like you were turning your back on the thing that would, like, give you satisfaction and happiness because you were feeling victimized. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's just because, you know, how love has gone before, and that can make people really cynical too. And so what they're saying here is that it's like something's changed. I'm hearing, like, there's a trigger here. See, fives are change. That's change. And it's not always comfortable, you know. That can feel like somebody ripping a Band-Aid off and, like, getting, like, you know, ripping your hair off and stuff, you know. But I'm hearing that this is really about healing, and your guides are just saying, look, you gotta make sure, especially if this is not, look, it doesn't have to be romantic. True love starts within. So a lot of times this is just showing up to say that, you know, this is a healing time for you, learning how to demonstrate healthy boundaries for yourself, right? And this is just the cautionary note of not turning your back on that light, you know? Because that's the thing that's actually going to take you into your upright space if this is you showing up upside down. Because right side up, this is great. I mean, yes, this can be a goofy-ass motherfucker, you know, because this is somebody that he can just be very poetic and, like, loving and just, like, sometimes excessive and flowery and gushy and, you know, maybe overly emotional at times, you know, when it's like this especially. But it's a good energy, you know. This is like, you know, your knight in shining armor. This is like your true blue that comes in and wants to woo, you know, wants to woo you, wants to please you. And so, you know, in some cases, this is you just learning how to please yourself and, like, how to, like, focus on, like, your own inner light too. So, you know, if you've been dealing with, you know, some messed up stuff in the past, you know, they're just really saying right now, try your best to give yourself the love that you need so that you're not missing out on some good things, because you've got some great healing energy right now. I gotta say, Aries, it's like, I know that, you know, you see the word victim, you see conflict and defeat, and, you know, it can kind of, you know, throw you, but remember, this is a 2-week period, all right? You know, we're talking about the middle of the month to the end of the month, and the guides are saying it's going to be favorable, so let's see what the Psychic Tarot Tarot Oracle deck book says on that, conflict and defeat. AKA Five of Swords. Alright. The number 5 mental card represents significant learning and change. And how you handle yourself at this time is vital to your overall well-being. This card could relate to a lack of sensitivity in taking action or in response to conditions or situations around you. This need for sensitivity could relate to you or someone else in your life. Even though a battle can be won, it's important to evaluate the cost and pain to both parties. Sometimes it's best to surrender and walk away if no answer or victory can be achieved. Don't assign blame, become deceitful, or set out to get revenge, for this results in the negative energy becoming part of you. You are being tested on how delicately and gently you take your next step. Remember, everything in your life is an opportunity to learn and grow. And so that's it. You know, swords are sharp, so make sure that, you know, if you're doing that too, that you don't accidentally victimize another person. Especially if there's just a lot of emotions involved, because, you know, these can just, it can just play out completely differently depending on who you are. But since this is the physical material realm, if this isn't like how the action is happening, being completely blocked or excessive, you know, this could actually be how a person is showing up that's either feeling blocked or excessive. So that could be you, that could be someone else. And, you know, they're just saying that looks like it could be a victim there. You know, might want to make sure that, you know, you just guard how you're doing things. So, you know, you're not throwing somebody like that or feeling thrown. Because that could be what this is too. Like somebody literally being, you know, that's what I was seeing there. Like thrown off their horse. So what they're saying too, it's like, especially if you've been dealing with situations where you feel blocked or just afraid of being hurt, you know, and feeling that conflict from just shit not working out in the past for whatever reason, whether it was, you know, nobody pointing fingers like it's your fault or somebody else's fault, you know, that's playing that victimizing and like pointing finger stuff. I'm not doing that. You know, I'm the guy that says, you know, go for the big love, find a way to love more, fix it. And so, you know, if this is how things are showing up, what they're saying is just, you know, maybe the key is just to take slow, graduated steps. Like, at its best, this energy, you see this knight, she, he, they, it can be anybody, and they're coming in really slowly. That horse is not moving very quickly, you know? So, give yourself a pause if you need. And, you know, if you're feeling like it's just going everywhere, because it's like all that, you know, because it might be all that. Not for nothing, but if you got a little something going on like that, I mean, that's pretty awesome, right? You know, who doesn't want that? I mean, I know some people don't want that, but take your time. Just take your steps. And if you need to carry a sippy cup, darling, put a lid on it, you know? You don't have to spill it everywhere. You know, you can take your time with it. And I'm hearing in a lot of cases it's just going to work out really good, because this angel is looking pretty happy. And it's like, I'm hearing that, you know, it's literally like this was put in your path to help you heal. And in some cases, this person, you know, look at this little angel that's standing behind, like, the one that I would call a guy, right? Yeah, it could be she, they, whoever. It's like that little angel's kind of like nudging them together. It's like backing up the guy, and he's like, no, it's okay. You can tell her. She wants to hear it. You know? And so it's like, maybe that's the little shove, you know? It's a little shove from the divine in some cases, just saying, hey, you know, we're helping you pull this thing together. It's going to be okay. So, you're going to know if you can trust that or not. In some cases, this could literally be about just like feeling shitty because, your one that you thought was your true love just like ended up being some bullshit. It was like non-starter, and left you feeling like that. And so, maybe that's what this is all about. But I'm just hearing one way or the other, even if that's the case, even if this is something that's like happening right now and it looks like crap, they're saying you're going to get in touch with some true love in this. And one way or the other, they're saying it's going to work out. So just hang on to your faith, Aries. And do what you need to do to feel good and embrace that inner light. I'm going to bust open the book and tell you what the romance angels have to say about that true love card. It's probably going to sound very gooey, and for some of y'all it won't be, but hey, if it is, I hope you enjoy it. Bring a freaking spoon. Stop. I had a little bit of a coughing thing, so I just stopped. Gonna open up that book for you. True love, Aries. This is the romance of a lifetime. You pulled this card because true and lasting love is here for you. If your question was about a specific person, then this card serves as validation of the relationship's divine nature. This individual has genuine love for you, and you both can overcome the issues that arise. This is especially the case if you can express your feelings through attributes such as kindness, compassion, and courtesy toward each other. For instance, having honest conversations would be an expression of your true love, even if it involves discussing uncomfortable topics. If you're currently seeking a relationship, this card offers you assurance that true love is on its way. Keep the faith that a wonderful relationship is destined to come to you, and don't compromise with an unsuitable partner. It's essential that you treat yourself well by taking excellent care of yourself, for the foundation of a true love relationship is two people who cherish who they are. So I'm not the guy saying, leave your partner if it's like, a bad situation. I'm not directly saying that. In some cases, you need to, though, especially if you're dealing with some kind of abuse. And I think that the abuse is never justified. And so, just make sure you're taking care of yourself right now. And, if you do need some help, I just have to say it, please reach out for help. There are people that can help. And for others, though, just make sure you're not getting in your own way, because I'm just hearing that for a lot of you, it's just turning like the page, or actually that's not even a good way to put it. I mean, they're just saying it's like a whole new direction. It's like not even the same book that you were in before, and that you actually might have found something that's real and worth holding on to, and somebody that isn't going to victimize you, and that somebody that might just be worth like taking a chance with. And so check in with that if it's for you, and I wish you the best. I hope that you get your true love. And I'm going to just leave you on the tip from Archangel Michael that, favorable outcome is forthcoming. So here we go, Aries. Going to wrap it up on that. Dear Archangel Michael, thank you for the beautiful outcome to this situation, which is perfect and fair for everyone involved. Thank you for helping me trust and have faith. Amen. Alright, Aries, that's what I got for you. I hope you liked it. I hope it made sense. If it did, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let me know if you would like a prayer or a personal reading. I would love to do that for you. artoflove.me. And if I don't hear from you, just have a wonderful rest of your month. Happy Halloween. And I will see you again in a couple weeks when we're back for the November reading. So I'm just going to finish clearing up here, and then we're going to wrap everything up with Sagittarius. What's going on, Sagittarius? How you doing? Happy middle of the month of October to you. I'm gonna flip your cards. I heard spiritual epiphany for some of y'all. Crown chakra showing up on the mind. Just gonna start there. John Hahn Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. Really cool energy to be on the mind. It's actually showing up next to, I was just gonna jump around a little bit here. Get your personal / romance sector card. Religious factors. It doesn't have to be romantic. I'm hearing in some cases it doesn't have to be religious either. You know, this is kind of limiting verbiage in my opinion, but I'm noticing all that stuff swirling over this person's head here, right? All that high register energy. Then you get that crown chakra card showing up. I'm hearing for some of y'all, it is just like, you're just like connecting to, it's like your antenna, you know? It's like your spiritual antenna is very heightened. And it has to do with an emotional situation that's like showing up right now. I'm hearing for a lot of y'all, it's just, you know, highly emotional time. What's showing up in your archetype, which is sort of your challenge energy for the second half of the month here, Sag, is the child wounded card. The children cards in this deck, there's several, you know, we all play one of the child roles, and yeah, you might be dealing with the Gemini too. Gemini actually got the Eternal Child card. You might want to check that one out. Don't know, but it just had me cross-reference that for you. I'm going to read you what the card says here. Child wounded, light attributes. Awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. Shadow attributes. Blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds. Resists moving on through forgiveness. And I'm hearing that's like, you know, some of y'all have just had some emotional epiphanies right now that are like taking you back to like the places that you've grown from, and that it's not like, I don't think some of y'all are just lingering there too long. I think that it's actually just like coming to terms with something emotionally that is allowing you to expand your consciousness in a very liberating way. And that's what that rainbow is over your head there. Because I'm hearing in some cases that's you. In some cases it's, you know, I'm hearing, you know, some kind of spiritual partnership that's come into your life that in some cases helping you heal whatever those childhood wounds were. And in some cases, you know, it's just an emotional time, and the guides are saying, you know, it's a good time to go get by a tree if you've got some nice warm weather where you can spend some time outdoors. It's going to help you ground some of that. And sometimes if you're just channeling, like, you know, high register energy, it's just really good to also be able to, like, bring that into your body and to connect it so that you can use it. Because, you know, that's the biggest risk. If you're just, like, feeling emotional and you're just, like, all in this upper register, it's like, you know, you can just kind of, like, blast off into outer space like a space cadet. And, you know, you want to bring that stuff home because that's what's going to help. Especially if it's, you know, you might be feeling triggered or dealing with some wounded child issues. And so I'm hearing for some people that this has to do with a divorce, actually, and that this is really just the children being at the forefront right now and feeling like, you know, wanting the children to be happy. So this Ten of Cups showing up in the physical material realm using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck is your Ten of Cups. And in some cases, that's just like complete emotional fulfillment. But in other cases, too, it's literally just like the stuff that is pulling at the emotional cords. You know, so you see you've got your couple there, and you got the kids, and, you know, it's just like the family situation. You see a family here huddled, and somebody's missing here. If this is the same family, you see there's like one adult and like two kids, right? So I'm seeing that. And then here, you see 2 adults, 2 kids. And then I've got this religious factors card. And I'm hearing in some cases it's just like separation. And I'm hearing that it was like, you know, it needed to happen in some cases. And that it's like just really dealing with it and like really calling on your spirit guides and, you know, your sense of like what it is that helps you ground yourself, you know, and that's what this clue is here too, to deal with that. And I'm hearing in some cases it was like, you know, that this is actually just a passing is what they're talking about, and feeling, you know, just hurt by it. And I'm hearing that it was like somebody's parent, and that that's what this is. Yeah, my condolences too if you've lost a loved one, anytime. It doesn't have to be recently. You know, I don't think that, you know, sometimes there's enough like adequate space given to people who, you know, maybe this has been going on 10 plus years, 7 to 10 years is what I'm hearing for somebody. And, you know, it might just be like an anniversary coming up of something, and, you know, just needing to lean on some faith to kind of, you know, cope with a situation. And so, you know, if that's for you, you know, my thoughts and prayers are with you. And let's see what the book says on that archetype card. Child. There are several different children in here, and we all have one of them show up. And so I'm just going to read to you what it says, first of all, on like the child archetype period, and then we'll get specifically into that kind of child, the wounded child. Child. Variations include divine, eternal, boy, girl, magical, innocent, nature, abandoned, orphaned, and wounded, many of which are present to some degree in every psyche. One aspect is usually dominant. Choose carefully because you can have only one child archetype in your support team. And the one that showed up is the wounded child. And that particular card says, holds memories of abuse, neglect, and other traumas endured during childhood. May also awaken a deep sense of compassion and desire to find a way to help other wounded children. Often opens the learning path of forgiveness. The shadow wounded child may manifest as self-pity, blame, and resistance to moving on through forgiveness. And the tip they want you to keep in mind is to look for a habit of blaming a painful childhood for all subsequent dysfunctional relationships. And I'm hearing for some of y'all that's like not even what the case is. It's really seriously just feeling like very emotional about the things that you've been processing. And I'm hearing for some of y'all it's like something happened. They're bringing up 7 again for me too. I was getting 7 a lot. Something happened in July for many of my viewers here, and I'm hearing that that's kind of what the 7 is that's on the mind here. It's like whatever it was that happened in July that got some emotions up right now. And I'm hearing for some of y'all it's like everything you could do to just like hold on to your faith. And they're saying to do it though. You know, the thing is, it's like this is showing up right. Sometimes people say this is all just bullshit. It's just like so much emotional stuff and it's just like too much emotions. Okay, possibly. For me, usually that's the case if it shows up upside down though, or that it's blocked. Like this, I think this is really good. Maybe I'm just an idealistic human being, but that looks pretty freaking awesome to me. You know, that looks like a good situation. That looks like emotional fulfillment. And since it's the 10, and these only go ace to X, you know, ace to 10 in this deck, it's really talking about completion in the emotional realm. And so, you know, this can be cups people too. It could be you. Maybe you have cups, maybe you don't. If it's cups, it's like, you know, somebody that's got in their constitutional makeup, you know, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, okay, a heavy sway of that. But it doesn't have to be that. It can also just be the things that in your world give you that emotional fulfillment, being present, and I think also on the mind in a way that has you considering the bigger aspects, you know, that it's more than just material stuff, because in the material realm, you've got an emotional card showing up. So it's kind of like just feeling more prone, if you will, to what pulls on, you know, your heartstrings than anything that's showing up physical. Unless, you know, it is, of course, you know, like the longing or the missing for whoever that one individual who is just maybe not present in the world right now. And I'm hearing that that's why some people feel wounded. And for some people, it's just like, you know, a breakup that triggered that, or something that happened. You know, they found out about something in July and it just got them like questioning their faith. And so I'm hearing in some cases, you know, it's not like questioning your religion or anything. It might have nothing to do with religion, but just really questioning your faith in the things that you have poured your emotions into. And so, you know, what they're saying though is that, you know, it's got you like kind of in a psychic space though, because like crown chakra, you know, that's really high level energy that's coming through. So take the time that you need, you know, with any of that, however it's playing out in your world. And, you know, they're just saying, you know, being outdoors is going to be really good. And, you know, you see that here too. Physical material realm, you see, it's kind of a cue, you know. Go spend time, if you need, with people that make you feel like that. Because that's going to be a very healing thing right now. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck book and tell you what the Crown Chakra card says. These for me are almost kind of like trumps in this deck, in the fact that there's only 7 of them that show up, because this deck only speaks to the 7 temporal chakras, so the chakras that are on the actual physical body that most people hear about. So since there's only 7 of them out of a deck that's got like, I don't know, like 60 cards or something, for me it's sort of a strong indication that, you know, there's a lot of energy involved, and, you know, a lot of energy coming into the crown. I mean, that's pretty awesome in my opinion. Key facts: color, violet; sound, none or ohm can be used. Element, thought; gland, pineal. Keywords, I know. The crown chakra is located at the top of the head and has been called the 1,000-petaled lotus, or the receiver of light. This chakra is the center of your link with the universe, the infinite, and your higher consciousness. It's the connection between wisdom and spiritual insight. The crown center is the area where the ethereal light and energy are received and then dispersed throughout your aura for total well-being. To balance this chakra, I find that meditation, breathwork, yoga, spiritual healing, acupuncture, and color therapy work best. When properly aligned, your crown chakra will expand to a point where it's possible to access and tap into the deepest sources of wisdom. And in some cases, that's all this is. You know, it's just feeling like you have transcended what these old wounds were, and those things that had you feeling like a child that, you know, maybe didn't get what they needed. And it's like bringing you to a point of like emotional satisfaction in your world where you just feel like, you know, you kind of just, you just stepped into some truth, and it wasn't an easy path, you know. And in some cases, you know, it was just hard freaking knocks. This card here, personal/romance sector, it says something cool here. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Even if it has nothing to do with your love life, it says something key here. Influenced by your upbringing, right? Even if it had nothing to do with religion. This could just have to do with ideologies that are foisted on us. You know, depending on where you grow up, there are different ideologies that were just probably so nurtured just being around you, even if you didn't really directly participate, that these things can have a way of just like influencing, you know, how you view the world. You know, this is about worldview. You see this, I'm going to say woman here. See how that globe around her head, it's like the view of the world around her, you know? So it doesn't have to be religion. It could just be all that stuff. You know, it's her high mind. It's like what she's learned. It's elevated thinking and consciousness. And that's what I hear some of this is for some of y'all. It's just like really taking a step in a direction that's healing you from the stuff that maybe you didn't even realize had been attached for so long. Because I'm hearing in some cases this was literally like you just elevating yourself from feeling like that to like this. That it's like your growth spurt. And that this is literally like you having a mental assessment. It's like a think on your mind about, holy shit, you know, I've really left this like wounded state where I just, you know, I was like this, you know, this like, you know, child. And now I'm like, I realize where I've grown. And so, you know, if that's the case, fan-freaking-tastic. That's an awesome place to be, Sag. I'm just hearing that, you know, it's a very healing time for you to tap into those energies and also just even give yourself the space to kind of go through what it is that you've allowed yourself to believe. Because in some cases, that's the stuff that was limiting you or had you feeling like you were kind of like trapped in whatever that wounded state was. I'm going to bust open the Romance Angels book for you. And I will just say, too, for some of y'all, it's literally getting to a point where you're realizing that the person that you've called into your life that, you know, could very well be, you know, a high just level soul, a high level soul, that maybe you have different backgrounds. I'm hearing in some cases it's like you might have an abusive past in common, and that even though there are other ideological differences, it's like something has kind of pulled you together. And that, you know, you might just want to get to know that person better. And I'm hearing outdoor dates might be great. So, you know, take it if it's yours. I'm going to bust open the book and tell you what it says. Alright, Sag. Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. This card reveals that religion and spirituality are subtle but important factors in your love life. Perhaps you're looking for a relationship with a partner who shares your spiritual beliefs. If so, this card comes to you as guidance to seek your new partner at the church, temple, or meeting place associated with your faith. If you're currently with a partner who isn't spiritually minded or whose beliefs differ markedly from your own, you may feel dissatisfied. You may also be influenced by family traditions that expect you to marry within your own culture or religion. The Romance Angels are helping you address this issue, and they ask you to remain true to yourself during this process. Decide which factors you will and won't accept in your relationship and what your priorities are for your partner. For instance, it's possible that your love interest may live It's possible that your love interest may live the spiritual principles that you find important, for example, forgiveness, charity, kindness, and the like, without having the same religious affiliation you do. The angels remind you that your partner, like everyone, is a holy child of God. Everyone is spiritual in truth, because everyone is spirit. Although it's not up to you to change your partner to match your spiritual path, your affirmations, prayers, and visualizations have a positive influence on both of you and your relationship. Wow. And I'm hearing in some cases too, wow, I'm seeing the same person cutting. I was seeing somebody like cutting, it looked like heads off. It was more like video game style. There was like somebody chopping off like pumpkin heads is almost what it looked like. I think it was Air Tribes, I don't remember which one. And they were just saying that some of this is like cutting that away. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's like feeling wounded because it's like you want to get married. Or like, you know, connect with this person that just like feels really great like this. And it's like, you know, it's your spiritual union, and because of like the religious path of like your family and everything, it's like feeling abandoned, you know, and that's just really hard. I'm hearing for somebody, it's like you're wanting to like, I'm hearing elope. I'm seeing somebody like literally going and like just having like, you know, kind of like a private wedding. They're showing me like 4 people, and it's like near a forest. And just feeling sad because somebody didn't show up. is what I'm hearing. And I'm just hearing, you know what? I'm really sorry, you know, if it's just somebody like being obstinate and not wanting to show up because of, you know, something like that, you know. And I'm just hearing though, you know, it's worth it because, you know, it was a really good choice that you made. You found somebody that makes you feel good and it's actually helping you heal those wounds, and that family member or person that kind of turned their back or didn't show up in some cases really was the reason why you had that wounded child feeling in the first place. And so it's like you've really stepped into the healing. So, you know, I think I'm going to leave it there on the tip from Archangel Michael, just to spend more time outdoors, Sag. I think it looks good. So take care of yourself, take care of one another, and we're going to seal it up on this prayer for you. Dear Archangel Michael, thank you for motivating me to spend more time outdoors and for helping me relax and enjoy connecting with nature. Amen. Alright, Sag, I hope you liked it. I hope it made sense to you. If you did, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let me know if you would like a prayer done for you or a personal reading. artoflove.me. If I don't hear from you, have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you again in a couple of weeks when I'm back for the November readings. Take care. God bless. Bye.